And this is, in today's flying display, one of the professional flight quit the performance. You can see that the fly-in display of this fighter from the Singapore Air Force is flying over. And just now, there were two fighters flying in formation, and now it is just one single fighter. This is F-15 SG. It will turn 90 degrees for 4 times, and in the end, to formate a 360 degrees turn. You see that the plane is turning over and flying around. The 360 degree of turn will be comprised of 4 times of 90 degree. You can see that the turning angle of different plane is different, because F-15 flight speed is different from F-16. One of the biggest challenge to the performance of fighter is that they cannot fly too close to the ground. The total performance is all dependent on the aviator's reaction, because the fighter does not have automatic flight mode. Other than this fly-in display, the aviators would also conduct all kinds of support and attack and other aid missions. You can see that currently the 3 fighters are flying in a heart formation. You can see they have a very quick reaction speed. During the training process, they will have a simulation session, and all of the 3 aviators need to find their own positions from the ground. Now the 3 planes is flying from afar. Because today is an opening day, you can see this performance has attracted lots of crowd from local and abroad, and also a lot of enthusiasts who are fans of aviation. And you can also see a lot of family, a lot of people who brought their family members here. Now the 3 planes has formed into a triangular shape. Since today has a good weather, now the plane is descending to the ground. Singapore Air Force will send out several planes in 2 teams. One team is ground team and the other is flight crew. And all of the crews will have 3 months training session for this performance because today it's the Singapore Air Force to celebrate their 50 years anniversary. Now you can see that there are 2 planes in the air. One is in the upper altitude and the other is in parallel with the first one. After they fly over, they will turn around and come back. This is the 11th maneuver of their performance. Currently, the flight that's flying back is a combat fighter, and it's descending from a very high altitude. Because currently the plane is accelerating, it's fighting against the gravity. The fighter is mainly powered by the thrust of engine. Most of the planes is purely rely on the engines because usually combat fighters has a very large volume. During the flying display, the combat fighter has to overcome a lot of disadvantages of the plane. Now there are 2 planes flying over. We are really looking forward to this one. Now there are 3 planes. They are 2 of the planes are flying from this way and the others from the other way. It is very amazing because 2 of the planes will fly in parallel, then they will separate in a different angle. When we see the 3 planes flying from the opposite direction, you might see that one of the planes is flying in between of the 2 other planes. However, in reality, it is not. Now, the 14th maneuver is ongoing. Before that, let's look at the ground. On the ground, you can see a lot of audience from both Singapore and countries around the world. Not far away, you can also see 2 flagships. And over there, that is the Navy Force of Singapore. Okay, now there are 2 planes flying over. Currently, it is flying in V shape. It is like a victory formation. What's different today is that all of the fly and display teams are from Air Force from 4 countries. Therefore, it is really a rarely seen opportunity. This morning, there will be 4 teams from 4 countries to perform, and in the afternoon, there will be a rotor plane. This morning's performance is all about combat aircraft. Now, the 15th maneuver from Singapore Air Force is about to start. Since this year it's the 50 years anniversary of the establishment of Singapore Air Force, you can see that they have shot cannons to celebrate the establishment of the Singapore Air Force for 50 years. And from the furthest point, you can see that the combat aircraft has been flying very far away. And that's the end of the Singapore Air Force. Next one who would give their performance is the Royal Thai Air Force. The combat aircraft from Thai, it's very agile and small. Later, we will have another coverage of the Thai fighter. Now it's flying over. This Thai fighter JAS-39 was made in Sweden, and it has a design of triangle shape. The value of this jet is about 700,000 US dollars. Now it's turning 360 degrees. The performance of Thai Air Force is also very famous because this team has been given performance in various occasions and they're very experienced. This jet is on duty for the Royal Thai Air Force. Now it's carrying a rainbow and flying to us. Making a turn and then descending from afar. All of the fighter, when they fly aloft, the power is mainly from the engine, which means that the thrust has to be more than 9G to afford this kind of performance. Now the jet is flying straight and level. The Singapore Airshow is Asia's largest aerospace and defense event. Other than this airshow, in the world there are also other famous airshows, such as Van Polo Airshow, etc. Now the jet is flying toward us again. It's making a 270-degree turn. Singapore Airshow will be on exhibition every 2 years, and on each airshow there will be flying displays. you see when the jet is hovering aloft, there are two circles around cloud and gas emitting. This is to create very powerful atmosphere. I'll have to reiterate that in this morning's performance, all of the performance team are from Air Force, hence all of them are combat aircraft.
示了美国对亚太市场的重视，希望有对亚太市场的重视意义或者翱翔在领域各国的竞争是当然是非常激烈的，当然是非常激烈的，当然是非常激烈的。
You see, this is a very competitive environment. Now the jet is flying over. Not that good. I apologize for not being able to provide a very smooth coverage of this performance. You can see in front of me in this plaza, there is a whole crowd of audience because today is the opening day and it's also Saturday. So lots of audience comes here, and a lot of people even have brought their family members to watch this performance and have a closer understanding of this fighter jet. Today's performance also have attracted a lot of professionals, including some professional photographers. They are all eager to capture this amazing moment. And on my right side, this is the Changji Navy base. This is a sincerely very brilliant location because we have the sea and beautiful sky. In front of me, you can see a lot of people from local and also some foreigners abroad who are also enthusiasts of aviation. Now the jet is flying over. The last performer will be the aircraft from Malaysia. Firstly, Malaysia Air Force employed 30 MKM made in the then Soviet Union. This Russian combat aircraft can be equipped with 8 tons of ordnance. Now, the jet is paying tribute to the crowd, to the audience, and also to the celebration of 50 years anniversary. This combat jet has a very good feature, which is before it conducts any maneuver, it will usually shoot a dynamite. In today's flying display, we have some air fighters made in the US, in the Sweden, and also in Russia. The APAC market is very competitive. There are a lot of jet makers, no matter it's in civil use or in Air Force use. All these companies have put their effort into entering this market, including the most advanced companies. On the right side of this exhibition hall, there sits all kinds of airplanes statically. I believe we did that coverage a few days ago, but today it's about the flying display. Now 30 MKM is flying back. As I mentioned before, one of the biggest features of the performance of MKM is that before it conducts each maneuver, it will firstly emit a photoelast and will stay for a while aloft. You can see that before each maneuver, it will definitely emit a photoelast. This combat aircraft was made in the then Soviet Union. And currently MKM is on service for Royal Malaysian Air Force. In this year's Singapore Airshow, apart from the competition between various fight aircraft, we also have a lot of other things to offer.